Still 3 days till the hurricane gets here, or the tropical storm, whatever it decides to be. It's going to be 3 days till it gets here, and it's just rain this whole day. Well, good afternoon. I'm Mark. Welcome back to the farm. So it's been a while since I posted, like 3 weeks, and that's not that, you know, really nothing's been going on. It's just motivation to make the videos. I haven't had it. So I apologize for that. I know you guys are interested, and I like sharing it. Sometimes I just don't feel like sitting down at the computer for a couple hours and working on a video. And that's what's been happening. So otherwise, what's happening here? Well, as you can see, I'm here. We're in one piece. So Hurricane Helene didn't do too much to us. So here's the deal. We had Hurricane Debbie, and that came through, and we had rain and we had wind. Neither one's severe, just, you know, enough of both to be troublesome, but not severe. We lost power for that. Great chance to work on my generator skills and run the house off that. That went really well. Then we had Hurricane Helene, and that's one everybody's very familiar with. It pounded the snot out of, you know, Middle America, North Carolina, Tennessee, that whole area up there. They got abused. And what happened to us here? Well, the hurricane went by us out in the Gulf. So we had to be a good 100 to 150 miles from storm center where we are. That's just a guess. I haven't actually measured it. But we got no rain or very little rain, but we got some wind, but only up about 70 miles an hour worth of wind. So not really anything crushing for the way stuff is done around here. Now we've got Tropical Storm Milton, which formed up around, I first really started looking at around the Yucatan, and I think whatever it was, it went there and it pounded a bunch of tequila, and now it's going to wander sideways across the Gulf going east and build strength to become a hurricane. And so we're keeping an eye on that. We're going to get a lot of rain out of that. That's supposed to be a big rain event, maybe not as much wind. We'll get some wind too, but the rain is going to be the thing. Here's the thing with rain. We've had a lot. You know, it's Florida. We get a lot of rain. We're kind of supposed to, but it's been a lot. And so right now the ground is really saturated. And pretty much everywhere I walk out here, I squish. Except for the highest points of the property. Now we're pretty low. You know, the surrounding areas, it's almost like we're in a bowl down here. Surrounding areas rise up around us. We got the wetlands down here. They're pretty full. They're almost looking more like ponds than they are wetlands. But I mean, they could take more, but and we're going to get it. So what we do now is I've got the steers up on a more elevated portion of the property, and they're going to do their steer thing and eat some more grass. Getting ready to send those guys to get processed. And tomorrow morning, I got the hens back through there, I'll move them up into this area over here, which is higher ground, because we just had so much rain lately. Even the areas that are usually pretty good have become mucky. And, you know, you don't want your birds, you know, wandering around and living in that stuff. So we're going to pull them up a little higher, give them some more firm ground. And hopefully that's going to do the trick and keep them safe during the storm. You know, when it was at 70 miles an hour here, I mean, you can see the coop. It's a pretty good sized coop. Even at 70 miles an hour on the wind, we didn't really have issues here with any risk of them tipping over anything. It's a solid structure there. And so the birds were all safe. And yeah, the wetland, you can kind of see there, that's what the water level now out there, and that's pretty unusual. Yeah, we're gonna be keeping an eye on all that. So yeah, good sized structure, and that'll hold up fine in hopefully whatever this hurricane throws at us. You may or may not notice our flocks are combined. We now have one big flock, although the Rhode Island Reds, they're wanderers. You see little birds up in here? Well, you'll notice that is outside of the pen. These girls, they don't want to stay. And honestly, I mean, I'll regret it as soon as we get a predator attack, but for now, That's fine. I'm actually learning something about the amount of property that we have and the birds. I think if we had a smaller number, like if we weren't selling eggs, if we went down to say 20 birds, maybe 25, and I didn't feed them. If I just let them out and they scavenged for their food, they found what they could for bugs and grubs and everything else, I think they'd be okay. Ooh, I'm fogging up. This is what happens when you get warm and on a cooler day with some rain out here. It's actually only about 75, 76 degrees. It's glorious, except for the rain. So anyway, yeah, I think if I could get 20, 25 birds and it was just for us, homestead style, that I don't think I'd have to feed them. And that's really interesting. Now, I couldn't get away with the same thing with broilers, right? Because we use the Cornish cross broilers. And so you got to keep pumping those guys with feed. But the breeds that we have, the black Australorps, the cinnamon queens, the Rhode Island reds, the gold stars, maybe not the gold stars so much, but the CQs, the Australorps, and the Rhode Island reds, those are all considered dual purpose birds. They're not as big, anywhere near as big as our Cornish cross broilers. They're maybe harvest weight, maybe a third to a half the size of those. And it takes a lot longer for them to get big like that. But we could eat those. And that's a good fallback plan in the event that things get weird. And they lay so many eggs, then I just start leaving them. We start incubating more eggs, harvesting chicks to just keep trying to grow our own flock and just keep a cycle of food production going that way. That's a thought on that. I'd rather not have to do it, but I suppose it's possible. Man, still 3 days till the hurricane gets here, or the tropical storm, whatever it decides to be. It's going to be 3 days till it gets here, and it's just rain this whole day. It's a soft Irish rain. I mean, it's not coming down really hard. It's just steady and just keeps coming, and boy, before you know it, everything is soaked through. Next morning, we got a small break in the rain. It's still spitting a little bit, but I was looking at the weather and I was wrong. All the rain we're getting now is associated with Milton out in the Gulf. So he's still coming. Everything's looking to get the high ground. I mean, check this out. This is weird. Here's the poultry netting. And up at the top of this, look at all these things. Everybody's trying to get away from the ground. Unfortunately for them, I'm taking it down because I got to move all these guys. It's weird. I haven't seen that before. Anyway, Milton's forecast now, I think they're saying maybe up to a category 4 before it hits land. That's kind of extreme, but we'll see. Hurricane party. We continue to finish just locking things down here. So these are pretty heavy. They're metal chairs. We're just bringing them into the barn because we just don't want stuff next to the house in case the wind does pick it up. I don't think it will, but if it does, we don't want it smacking into the house. We'd rather have it smack into stuff out here. So we'll just finish moving stuff over here. Then I might, depending on whether or not the rain holds off, I might take the mower and actually go out and cut a whole bunch of stuff that I won't be able to get to for 4 or 5 days at least after the storm is through. So I'll get that cut, scrape up the shavings, and let the cows eat that.
All right, and speaking of light things, do you want to lay your kill cones down? I'm afraid, are they anchored into the ground? Or?
They are not anchored into the ground.
I think we should lay them down so they don't get flung up if they get caught.
That's probably a good idea.
All right.
We're going to do that. Tell you what, this kind of sunny and somewhat clear day that we've had today, unexpected. but we'll take it. It's helped dry out some stuff in advance of the rains that are coming. That's going to be helpful. We did go out in the local area. We got all of our gas cans full, diesel, ethanol free for the smaller engines. Got all the cars filled up. But that was an adventure too, because basically every gas station in the area now is out of gas. They definitely don't have any regular unleaded or any of that stuff. They still had some ethanol free when I was out there. They still had diesel, but not many stations at all had regular gas for cars. So everybody's taking the right precautions and getting tanked up, getting their cars tanked up. Qualifier. All right, got all this cut. Still pretty good outside, and got all the clippings cleaned up and taken over and fed to the steers, so they're enjoying a big old mound of clippings. They don't eat it when it's out here, but I cut it and I bring it to them and they're like, ooh, that's fancy. Well, we got everything around the house cleaned up. Anything that's going to fly around, rooster, and got all that stuff stored in the barn. The barn's not going to stop the wind, but we got stuff weighted down and kind of tied together, and hopefully that'll minimize any collateral damage of stuff flying around if that were to happen. We got fuel, we got the generators, we got all the cars full. We've done everything we can to prep for it. Food, water, the works. So I think that's what we're going to do. That's it. So we'll let you guys know how it works on the other side. I'll reach out, probably post something, but storm has slowed down now. It's only moving at about 12 miles an hour. So it's going to take longer to pass through, but it's weakening. So it's down to a Cat 4, and they say it's going to be a Cat 3 by the time it hits the coast. So fingers crossed that everybody in its path is safe. And yeah, I think that's going to do it from here. We'll talk to you guys later.